Hey guys, thanks so much for coming in. Happy Saturday. Hope all of you are doing well today. So, we are going to take off the sticky Fabri-solvy embroidery stabilizer from block 60 of the Splendid Sampler today. I have all my little buckets of water set up. Uh, this is normally our mini marathon Saturday day, but I think all we're going to do today is take off the Fabri-solvy and then finish this block. We'll dry it out with the iron and trim it to size, and we will call it a day after that. I'm getting a kind of a late start. Sorry guys if you've been waiting around since 12:30 or so. Here's the Fabri-solvy. Oh, it's in reverse. Sorry guys. It's sulky, sticky Fabri-solvy. I'll show you. When we flip it around, I'll show you what it looks like again if you want to get it. So the nice thing about that, it's an embroidery stabilizer. It sticks on like a sticker and it washes away in water. And the great thing is that you can run it through your printer. So if you have a PDF design or, a printout, you can photocopy onto it as well. You can just print that design directly onto this embroidery stabilizer, so you don't have to trace your design at all for the embroidery, which is amazing. I love it so much. So we printed the design out on it and stitched right through it, and now we are going to take the Fabri-solvy off. So, all right, if you guys are new here, my name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. I'm the author of Sew and Stitch Embroidery and a fabric designer, and I'm here every weeknight at 9:30 p.m. Central Time, and I've been doing these Saturday mini marathons, although it's not going to be really a marathon today, but I'm still here. We're going to finish this block, and then I will only have 3 more unfinished blocks for the Splendid Sampler quilt along, and you can find out more about the Splendid Sampler at thesplendidsampler.com. All right, guys, let's flip around and get this thing going. Here we are. Okay, I got my iron set up and my big buckets of water. So normally I wouldn't have water buckets. I have a big one just to get the process going, and then once it starts flecking off and it gets cleaner, I'm going to switch to clean water. But here it is again. It is sticky Fabri-solvy. Make sure it has the sticky and the water soluble in it. It should be this blue color, and it's by Sulky there. I do have a couple left of these in my shop at penguinandfish.com. Otherwise, they have it on rolls at Joann's, I know. And I have more on order, so I will have more in a week or so. So, all right, here is the design. We finished it last night, and I don't need to really trim it. It's trimmed close to the edges, so I'm going to just get going. I have some warm water in here. Oh, it's actually kind of cool now. The only reason I did warm water is so my hands aren't freezing. Oh, your first time joining live? Hey, Sylvette. Oh, thanks so much for coming in. Oh, you just ordered some of this Fabri-solvy. So, wow, I've never done it on fabric this dark before, so it looks like it disappeared already, but it's not. So, I was kind of talking about this last night, but there has been a few of the Fabri-solvys lately. I think they had a batch where it kind of just turned to slime versus flaking off into tiny little flakes. So I'm not sure what version I got here. So I am just slightly agitating it, just kind of rubbing on it. Soon it'll kind of start to disappear. Ooh, look guys, it looks like I got the slimy stuff. So that is kind of a huge bummer. That's what I didn't know which one I would get. So the slimy stuff, I think if you email Sulky, they will send you a new version of it if you get the slimy stuff. But the reason I don't like the slimy version is because you can't really feel how much is off, and it kind of sticks to your fabric. So this is one of those batches that I'm not sure how well it's going to work here for us. So I can kind of feel it. It feels gooey, but again, I don't know how much is stuck in the in it. You got the slime. Oh, but it comes up anyway. It just takes a while. Okay, Helen, that's good to know. I know usually I do this over running water, not in buckets like this if I'm doing it on my own. Oh, see there, you can see some of the slime. Here we go. See, it's really slimy. It's not coming off in the paper flex. So when you're running the slime version underwater, then it's not so gooey. But let's see, can I see any of it? Sometimes it gathers. Yeah, see, here we go. That is not the kind I like. And again, I think they've received a bunch of complaints about this. I think they maybe tried a new formula or something and then got a ton of complaints. So unfortunately, I happened to buy a bunch within that time period. So I'm hoping all the new stuff that I got is going to be the good stuff again. So I don't know. We'll just hang out here extra long. Usually it'll flake off into tiny little paper flecks, and then you can see if it's stuck underneath stitches or anything like that. So what I'm doing, I'm just going to rub along each of the stitches. We'll just see how it goes. Oh, catching up. Just finished watching the needle turn fleur-de-lis. Thanks, Renee. Yeah, I learned, or I got a lot of practice on that fleur-de-lis thing. You know, we have one more needle turn block like that, the dedication rose, which has even smaller little corners and bits to deal with. So that will be interesting. Hi, Ju. So that'll be even more practice. I think the next block we're gonna do though, I don't remember what number, but I think it was close to the. It was after 70. It was maybe in the 70s or 80s. But it's that Victoria Finlay Wolf one with the kind of pointy pieced bits and the. It had like circle appliques and stuff in. I think we'll do that one next. And then we got the paper pieced bow. You turn it face down and swish back and forth. Like this, just swish it back and forth. I find that it really, to get the bulk of it off, it just kind of melts in water, but to really, you know, it hides under the stitches, the Fabri-solvy. So I like kind of agitating each little stitch. I think it helps move things along. So it does take some time. And again, I might have to do it more than once because I can't see the Fabri-solvy with this gooey Fabri-solvy. So I'm gonna have to be really careful that I get as much of it off because I don't wanna hurt my iron with the. I might actually place another cloth on top of it when I iron with this other with the Fabri-solvy that turns into goo. Just because I want to protect my iron. So we'll see. It might fuse it together, but I'll be able to pull it apart. Again, just if you're coming in, I'm using the sticky Fabri-solvy, and usually it flakes off into tiny little flecks. But they had a batch, or they had like a period of time where I think they changed their formula or something. I have to email them yet, but and it turns into goo instead. See here, you can start. Oh, I don't know if you can see anymore. Yeah, so here's some still on here. So it's hard to tell when it comes off. That's why I'm kind of rubbing over each stitch. The flaky kind, you can see exactly where you have some on yet. So this isn't as ideal. Oh my gosh, Drew, you're sewing the binding on your Splendid Sampler already. Holy cow, yeah. Oh, I'm so jealous. I am not there yet. I got the 3 more blocks to do. And then I wanted to stitch the number of each block, like with a little embroidered numbers at the bottom corner of each of my blocks. So that's going to take forever. And then I got to lay it out and pick a border and all that yet, so I am not on the binding, that's for sure. It goes face down on the towel. Oh, yes. Oh, you did wash and iron it twice. Okay, so you had to, so with the goo kind, you ironed it and then realized that, oh, there's still some on here, and then you had to do it again. Yeah, I have a feeling that we might have that situation too. So I've been doing this for a little while already. I'm going to switch to a cleaner bucket of water just to maybe see if we can get more, but I can tell here, like, oh yeah, look at that. That's still quite a bit on there. That's a bummer. So we'll try and get that off in the next bucket of water. But here we're starting to see the colors. I mean, it is very, very, they're wet, so that will brighten up a little bit. But peek, oh yeah, look, all the way over on the clean bucket of water. Here you can see some of it at the bottom of that one. So that's why I got a few extra buckets of water here today, just in case it was, ooh, this is nice and warm water, just in case it was that gooey kind of Fabri-solvy, and unfortunately it was today. Huge bummer. So if this is your first time, you know, if you have some Fabri-solvy and this is your first time using it, know that if you get this kind, it's not the end of the world. It still comes off. You might just have to spend a little bit more time with it. And it's easier if you run it over in a sink. I mean, you can start out like filling up your sink and doing it like this, but then switch to running water over it, because then you won't get like little residue on your fabric because you'll be wiping it all off. It'll be going down the sink. All right, here's a big batch, I can tell. But yeah, with the sticky stuff, you really want to, well, with both, you really want to get as much off as possible. I can see it on the front here. Yeah, it just does not want to come off, does it? But if you're lucky and you got the real kind, which is, it should just flake off. That stuff's magic. I'm going to just go until I can't see any obvious bits on here. And then we'll try pressing it. I might actually go to I have one more thing of clean water, so we might do that as well. But, ooh, yep, I'm getting a bunch out of these leaves yet. I didn't really spend time rubbing these stitches down here. So even when I have the flaky kind, which is the kind I like, I still spend a lot of time rubbing over all these stitches. So, you know, the time that you save at the beginning from being able to just print it out right away, you know, you're using that time up now. But again, just not having to trace the design, I think, is totally worth it for sure. It likes to hide in these little shapes and underneath stitches, so I'm just really going. So I'm not being aggressive with the rubbing. I'm just kind of, you know, frictionizing it a little bit. I don't want to pull the stitches out or anything like that. Oop, there's some on there yet. So if this, I will iron this and everything today yet, but if it ends up being, like if I end up getting a lot of sticky stuff, look at it all on there. If it ends up feeling like there's a lot on yet, I'll probably go back and later and run it over this under the sink. Or maybe I won't even bother, who knows. If it ever goes through the washing machine, the rest will come off. Luckily on this blue fabric, I can kind of see it more. Sometimes when I get that gooey kind on a light colored fabric, it's a little more difficult to see what's going on. Yep, still some there. I love the part where we get to iron out all the water, though. That's kind of fun. So I don't know if you guys noticed, but I do have a towel on my iron today, and that's going to do two things. First of all, it's a fluffy towel. It's not just like a dishcloth towel. It's a fluffy towel because we are going to put the stitches face down. Yes, it doesn't set with the pressing, exactly. So I'm going to put the stitches face down, and they will sink into the fluffiness of the towel. And that means that when we press on the back of it, we won't lose the dimensionality of the stitches. They'll still keep their shape. And the other reason that we have a towel is because as we press it, we're going to press it soaking wet like this. As we press it, it's going to soak up the water as well and dry it out at the same time. So it's kind of magic, the fluffy towel. And I actually might, like I said, I might actually put another towel on, like a dish towel on top of the back, just in case some of this Fabri-solvy got on the back, and I didn't see it. I don't want to get it on my iron. I can still see a little hanging on down here. All right, let's just assess this quick. This blue is so dark, though. Oh, we got a little around the edges yet here. Yep, so we got some stuck under those stitches yet. I'll work on that. A little on these flowers. Yeah, the gooey kind is not fun. Here's some there. And within the flowers here, and a little just hanging out down here. So these bottom flowers actually are looking pretty good. There's a little bit on there yet. So, all right, well, that just means we keep going here. Again, this is where we're putting in the time that we didn't have to at the beginning. But there was quite a bit around these stitches up here. And bigger stitches like this, this is a chain stitch, so it's kind of like a fat stitch. So it's holding, a lot of Fabri-solvy underneath it. It's not exposed, it's protected by the stitch, so that takes a little extra doing to get it out. There was some on this leaf I remember down here yet. Yeah, some up around the edge here. We didn't actually have too much left on here. I just need to go over everything just one final time, I think. And then we'll just leave it at whatever it's at. I might run it through the clean water quick. I have one more thing of clean water. That might be our final rinse. And again, normally, if I was doing this not on camera, I would just run it underneath the sink. I'd probably fill up my bathroom sink or the kitchen sink with water and do the initial agitating just to, save on water. And then the final bit, like what I'm doing here, the final getting all the last little hangers on off, I would just run water over it. I'd be sure that the back was clean and all that then too, the background. All right. I think I'm going to switch to the clean water just one more time, and for final rinse, and then we'll call it. I'm going to move some of these waters. All right, let that sit there. I'm going to move my first bucket of water to the other side here so I can iron, and this guy I'm going to get out of the way too. Okay. Let's give it one final rinse, and we'll assess it again. But I think I'm going to just leave it wherever it's at. This gooey stuff is tough to tackle. A little bit here and there. Yeah, it's just like a couple little goobs yet. Yeah, and if it if you press it and you realize you have some on there yet, you can always run it underwater again, and each time you'll get more off. Man, look, there is still a pile of it in those leaves. I'm not happy with that. The bummer is you don't know which one you're going to get, if you're going to get the flaky kind or the gooby kind, but I'm thinking they've got a lot of complaints on it, so I think they've switched back to the flaky kind. Last little bits I'm seeing hanging out here. Some stuck in there yet too. I just want to hang on. And if you did this in the wash, you know, if you had a whole big embroidered thing and you just did it in the wash or let it set for a while or sit in the water for a while, I think this would all kind of go away too. Let's get this little bit over here. But then I think we're gonna call it. Yeah, and again, when you don't have the gooby kind, when you have the flaky kind, this is a little faster. But again, the benefit of this over tracing is that when you start, you have a perfect design printed out on it, you know, because you're going directly from the pattern. But all right, I think we're gonna just stop there with the water, and let's just give it a press. So I'm gonna just squish out a little bit of the water. I don't want to wring it or anything. So all right, I'm gonna throw it up on the ironing board. Let me move my water for a sec here. Okay, so let's get this iron down here. I'm gonna have to move this guy too. Sorry guys, just a sec. Okay, so here we are. I am going to lay this face down onto the towel. There we go. And I don't really see any Fabri-solvy stuck on the back here, so I think I'm going to risk it without putting a towel on top of it. But I'm going to just take my hot iron. I think it's got to wake up again. But I'm going to press right on the back of this. Oh, there you can see it sizzle, but I'm already seeing like it's getting a little lighter here. That means it's drying out already. So we're pressing it and also drying it out. So even if you don't use Fabri-solvy, you know, this is a nice method just, you know, to finish it off, especially if you have a lot of wrinkles and stuff in it from the hoop. Just dip it in some water and give it a little press. There, see, it's getting much lighter. So the towel is soaking in the water, so I might have to move the towel to a drier area in a little bit. But I'm really pressing, and like I said, the fluffy towel protects the stitches from getting too flat. All right, I'm gonna move it down so I have a dry piece of towel, but I gotta move this water. Another bucket of water in my way. Okay, here we go again. So now I'm going to just scooch it to a drier part of the towel, and we'll just finish it up. I can tell it's a little wet around the stitches here. But it's definitely drying out. Little corner down there. I think we did a good job at getting that Fabri-solvy out. Well, we'll see if this picks up and it doesn't move very well. Oh, it's a little sticky, I can tell. All right, well, here we are so far, guys. So I can tell that I have a little Fabri-solvy. You know, there's some goo stuck on here yet. That's that gooey Fabri-solvy that didn't go away. Again, the gooey version of the Fabri-solvy isn't typical. It is, they just had like a batch of it or something, or they were testing their formula or something. But most of the time, this would be all flaked off. So I actually might run that in water again later. But actually, I might not too. You know, I have a lot of other stuff with the Splendid Sampler. I might just be able to dab, you know, like with the water-soluble marker, I might be able to just dab some of this off. So I think I'm just going to leave this as is. We're going to just be done with it. I'm going to, let's dry up the towel or the table quick. Let's cut this. I'm ready to cut this to the 6.5 inches. But it's looking pretty. I like it. All right, so I got my little mini rotating cutting board here. And my 6.5 inch ruler. Let's just try and center this. All right, I'm about a ½ inch from the bottom. Oh, we can go a little bit more. What about the sides? ½ inch. It's about a ½ inch on either side. So this looks pretty good right here. All right, calling it. And I got this fun rotating mat now, so I can keep everything in place. This is that 8-inch rotating mat, which is super teeny, just perfect for these blocks. And my small little space that I'm working in. I'm just working on the kitchen table here. The dining room table, or teeny tiny dining room table. What was that for? Yeah, alrighty. Let's check it out. Alrighty, so there we are. So this is kind of the first time we get to see it on this blue background because we've been working on that Fabri-solvy the whole time. I think it's looking cute. This, all these light parts in the blue are a whole lot lighter than I remember. So, yay! That is another block. I'm calling it finished. Like I said, when I'm done sewing the entire quilt together, I'll go back with a wet rag and try and get some of this, the rest of this Fabri-solvy out. I'm not going to worry about it anymore right now, though. I think it is good to go. I love how these little white guys kind of pop a little bit. So there we are. Oh, these are so cute, just the little outlines. I think these just being outlines and not filled in really helps our eye go to the middle parts a little bit. So, all right, that is that. Yeah, this was definitely an experiment for me, stitching on a bold color like this. I don't usually do that, so it was definitely an experiment. But I like how it turned out. So fun. All right, block 60 is done. That only leaves me with 3 unfinished blocks. So, all right, we are going to just end it there today. It was a nice short one today, and so I'm going to flip you guys around. Hello, where did I get the mini rotating mat? I think I just got it on Amazon. I will put a link in the YouTube video. It's Fiskars, and it is a, it's an 8-inch. It's an 8-inch, the actual thing's 8 inches, but the measurements only go up to 7 inches. But I think it's called the 8-inch rotating cutting mat. You can probably find it on Amazon. It's by Fiskars again. But here we go. Cute. It's kind of subtle on this blue. Like, you'll really have to go up to the quilt to see what it looks like. I love it though. That was a fun one to stitch for sure. So, all right, guys, block finished, block 60 finished. There are 3 more to go, and then I'm going to stitch the numbers on, and then I can finally stitch this one together. What one are we going to do Monday? So let's check that out. I wanted to do that Victoria Finlay Wolf one, but I wasn't sure what number it is. I'm going to grab my binder here. All right, here is the binder. Oh, here, let me flip you guys around again. All right, here is my binder of unfinished, well, of the finished black. So this one, I think this is the one we're going to do next. Full circle star. It looks like I've got all the pieces cut out. I have not appliqued this on, and I have to make all these circles yet. So there's these 5 circles. So this one's kind of involved yet, and it involves like everything. It's got piecing, and it's got applique and needle turn stuff. So I think we'll deal with this one next. This one looks kind of intense, so I kind of want it out of the way. So we have this one, and then the bows. So we'll do some sewing. Let's have this be the order. We're gonna do. I'll set up the sewing machine. We'll do this one, then we'll do the paper pieced bows. I only have 1 bow done. There's 3 more to go. Here we go up here, and then the last one will be dedication rows, where we have a whole pile of needle turn applique to do. I'm doing this in the traditional needle turn applique way. So we got a whole pile of stuff to do on that. Yeah, but this is gonna be like super great practice for needle turn. So I'm kind of excited about it, even though there's a lot. Like, look at my first one compared to my second one. My second one, the leaves look so much nicer. So I'm hoping I'll just keep improving. It'll be very good practice. So we'll just go in order that we have here. 1, 2, and then 3, and then we'll be done. So yep, block Monday we will get going on block 72 again. So all right, guys, that is the plan, and here we go, block 60. All right, guys. So I will get this up on YouTube. I know it was kind of a bummer that it was the Fabri-solvy that was a little gooey, but, you know, you just stick with it a little longer and it will still come off. So nothing to, you know, worry about too much if you do get that kind. We have done ones where it's the flaky kind before too, so that's ideal. So there we go. All right, thanks so much, guys. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend, and yep, I will see you guys Monday. I won't be on tonight or tomorrow. And yeah, next up is Monday at 9:30 p.m. Central. We'll get going on that block, what was it, 72? Gosh, I forgot what it was called already. I'm the worst. Okay, I will catch you guys on Monday then. Have a fantastic weekend, and thanks so much for coming in here again today. Block 60 is done. All right, see you later, guys.